So yeah, hold on a second. What up, guys? VipernationTV here, and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa. If now the story has changed from Mukuro's point of view to Mukuro's point of view. So yeah, now I'm saying, huh? Time has suddenly stopped for Mukuro Ikusaba. It was as if everyone around her had frozen perfectly still. In the past, she was known as the ultimate soldier. She has experienced this feeling before during her time with the mercenary group Finir, or whatever. You know, the group that was discussed a little bit in Danganronpa 1. In situations where she was surrounded by a hopeless number of enemies in the jungle or the desert ruin. The charging enemies seemed as though they were frozen in time, which allowed her to claim a decisive victory in all her battles. But this wasn't a battlefield, so why did this familiar sensation activate once again? In order to understand what had happened, Mukuro slowly tried to assess the current situation from within this frozen world. Junko and Mukuro are both children of despair, but Junko Enoshima, the true ultimate despair, harbors a far deeper darkness within her. Though their last names is different, which makes me wonder why they are officially recognized as sisters. Because they have different last names, for some reason. I would say. One thing I would say, it's probably different dads, but it says that they were twin sisters, though, so that debunks it. It makes me wonder, and I'm still wondering why they have different last names. Because Mukuro Ikusaba and Junko Enoshima, they don't even sound like, bruh. They don't even have the same last names, bruh. Mukuro is Junko's older sister, connected by the bonds of blood. So yeah, despite them being twins, Mukuro was actually born first. She cooperated with Junko's hopeless plan and impersonated her under the presence of participating in the killing game alongside her classmates. Makes me wonder, why in the hell would she listen to her younger sister, bruh? Like, shouldn't Mukuro tell Junko that this isn't right? Like, be the older sibling in the situation, Mukuro. Like, you're supposed to be the older one. According to the plan, Mukuro was supposed to oppose Mukuro, who his sister was controlling, and be locked in a dungeon as punishment. Isolated from the others, she would then escape the dungeon and perform various acts intended to deprive students of hope. That was the role she had been assigned. When Mukuro succumbed to his headache, Junko reordered her to see if the shock had caused him to remember anything that could make him a liability. He woke up as she was taking him till she made small talk with him, but she didn't notice any change in his behavior. Like, that shock basically caused Mukuro to start remembering shit. Because remember, right when Mukuro was about to get punished by Monokuma, aka Junko, Mukuro ran towards her and said and told her to watch out. But the catch was, he actually called her Mukuro. instead of Junko, which is the person that she's disguising as. Until this point, she was certain that there shouldn't be any problems. Nothing could possibly go wrong. She stomped on Mukuro like her sister or her to do, and flawlessly spoke the lines that she was taught to memorize. Yeah, so it's basically revealing that Junko was telling Mukuro all these things, bruh. Like, again, why isn't Mukuro taking action, bruh? Since she's supposed to be the older sister. But yet she acts like if she's younger than Junko, but in reality she's older than Junko. So why don't you stop Junko yourself? Since you're supposed to be the older sibling. Afterwards, she would fall through a trapdoor into the dungeon and remain isolated from the other students. That her role, she hadn't done anything wrong. There were no problems. There were no problems. She repeated that to herself over and over like a silent prayer. But in that frozen moment in time, what she saw was not a trapdoor, but countless spears. One of them had skewed Mukuro through his side. Why? Like, see, this is why I told you to not follow in her footsteps, Mukuro. It's because you never know when she'll betray your ass, bro. Like, she was about to betray you right there. If for anybody that remembers my Danganronpa 1 episodes, that it was later revealed that Junko had turned her back on Mukuro during chapter 1. So yeah. Makoto, why are there spears? Gungnir? I would have thought if I hadn't moved. Did Junko mess up the plan? No, Junko never messed up. Like I said, she was trying to kill your ass for stepping on Monokuma. Hope you fucking realize it soon, I hope. Was she trying to kill me? Duh, no shit. Like, me. Ko saved me. Why? Why did he say my name? Did his memories come back? Did I not realize that? Did I make a mistake? Is that why Junko got angry? Is this punishment? Is it my fault? Junko tried to kill me? Kill me? Kill me? Kill me? Slowly time came back to her world. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, from now on, we're doing this from Mukuro's point of view. And that's why the title of the episode is called Mukuro's POV, or point of view, as it stands for. As in, we're doing this from Mukuro's point of view for pretty much the remainder of Danganronpa. If slowly time came back to the world, Mukuro could feel her face turning pale as she slowly looked towards Makoto. Students' scream rang throughout the gym. Sayaka was probably the first one to scream, but who screamed first didn't matter to Mukuro. Makoto, why? Makoto was the ultimate lucky student. He had been her classmate for the past 2 years, and now he was a sacrifice to despair. Not long ago, he had giving her an answer of sorts during their conversation in the nurse's office. He was just a pawn in a plan her sister had devised. But now, a feeling of doubt began forming in Mukuro's mind. What do I want from Makoto? As her heart churned restlessly, she continued to think. In return, I promise that if I do decide to kill someone, it won't be you. Was I impersonating Junko then? Or did I really mean that? When did I start feeling this doubt? Just now, the moment he saved me, or when we spoke in the nurse's office earlier, or when I first confronted him about the killing game before his memories returned, or was it before even that? Mukuro stood there, confused and overwhelmed, as Makoto slowly opened his eyes, the spear still impaling him through the side. Mukuro? Makoto, are you okay? Mukuro was no longer impersonating the ultimate fashionista. Looking up from the floor of the gym, Makoto asked, "Why are you dressed up like Junko?" He was smiling. Maybe he couldn't feel the pain, or maybe he was being affected by something else. But regardless, Makoto ignored the fact that he was dying just to give Mukuro his warm smile. I'm glad you're safe, Mukuro." As soon as she heard Mukuro's weak, fading voice, something inside Mukuro snapped. From within the shell of despair she had built up, intense emotion began flowing out. Oh, this is all wrong. She couldn't hold back that emotion any longer. No. And for the first time in her entire life, Mukuro unleashed a scream into the world. I'm not doing the scream yet, guys. As Mukuro fell into her knees and clutched her head, a small shadow started walking towards her back. Stuffed animal. Toy stuffed animal that had been under her foot. Monokuma. His claws were extended. He was no longer walking up with his usual waddle. It's your fault, Monokuma. Bitch. Instead, he moved like a beast, silently stalking his prey as he slowly advanced within the target's blind spot. As he inched closer to Mukuro, Monokuma raised his razor-sharp claws, crouched on his haunches, and suddenly leaped towards the back of her neck. However, just before those claws could reach the paralyzed Mukuro, a dark shadow moved in from the side and swatted those claws away with one blow. His lunge deflected. Monokuma has sent flying through the air, spinning wildly before crashing into the wall. Damn you. What are you trying to do? Sakura Agami, the ultimate martial artist, had just prevented another tragedy. She stood before Monokuma and addressed him in a loud, booming voice. Not only did you attempt to kill Junko for violating school regulations, you even attacked Makoto, who had nothing to do with this. If you plan to continue acting like a savage in such a savage manner, there's no reason for us to play along with your game. Byakuya, Takami, the ultimate affluent progeny, smirked consentently at Sakura. Fool. One can only say you've now violated school regulations for your senseless actions. He looked as if he honestly did not care if his fellow students lived or died at all. Well, she merely deflected the headmaster's attack just now. So I do not think it truly counts as an act of violence. Like Byakuya, Celeste seems unfazed as she chided him over his words. However, the banter between the two was enough to steer the stunned students to action. Makoto Saigo was the first one to run towards Makoto, who laid bleeding from his stomach. But Monokuma stopped her, shouting a tone of voice that seemed completely out of character. Be careful. Don't get close to those two. Huh? Startled by Monokuma's desperate tone, Sayaka and the others stopped moving instantly. Or instinctively. Students looked around each other instead of his usual playful rate. Monokuma walked towards them to deliberate methodical steps, and then he suddenly blurted out something that took everyone, including Mukuro Yukisawa, by surprise. I'm sure you're probably confused by the sudden turn of events, but I want you guys to work together. Damn, that is really out of character for Monokuma to do that. I know he's known for being I know he is known for being a funny but yet sadistic bastard. But still, as Mukuro slowly turned her head towards Monokuma, he pointed at her and yelled, "Mukuro Ikisawa and her accomplice, Makoto Naegi, are the terrorists responsible for locking you all inside the academy." Once again, time stopped for Mukuro. Damn, bro. Now Monokuma, aka Junko, she really turned her back on your ass, Mukuro, for that. She basically snitched on your ass. Like, Junko, what the fuck is Junko trying to be? 6'9"? Didn't stop Mukuro, but this time she wasn't the only one affected. Everyone seems to be frozen in shock. A few seconds in silence, Aoi Asahina, the ultimate swimming pro, spoke first. Huh. You're kidding, right? I mean, Makoto is a terrorist? That's impossible. Yeah. And who's Mukuro anyway? Yeah, Makoto, that's impossible to see Makoto in that light. Like, he's like one of the nicest dudes in the franchise. I mean, that's Junko. Monokuma began slowly explaining to Hina. The real Junko must be in prison somewhere in the school. Worst case scenario, she might be killed. Mukuro must have researched which one of you would be the easiest for her to impersonate, and hid among you all by pretending to be her. She was probably trying to make sure the killing game went smoothly. Suddenly, Monokuma's hands and feet began jerking in an awkward motion as he looked at the other students and introduced himself. I'm Bishiki Madurai, the ultimate hacker. And for those of you who don't know, Bishiki Madurai is a character from Danganronpa 0. Which I wonder, which is supposed to be like I think it was a manga or a light novel. I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm damn sure, and I don't know if, and also I don't know if Danganronpa 0 is available in English, bruh. Because when it comes to the Danganronpa mangas and light novels, they rarely, if ever, get the English translation treatment by Spike Chunsoft, because many of them are only available in Japan. So, Yeah. So yeah, he's basically a Danganronpa Zero character. Your upperclassman. I hacked into the academy from the outside, and I was finally able to take control of Monko's body just a little while ago. Take control from who? From the head of the terrorist organization that's controlling the robot from the outside. What? What are you saying, Junko? Yeah, Junko's fucking lying, bruh. Mukuro trembled as she heard the words coming out of Mako's mouth. For a brief moment, she clung to the hope that her sister wasn't trying to kill her. But as soon as the hope was born, it was immediately consumed by despair. Junko had the power to transform hope into despair. She would never let anyone hack her that easily. There was only one explanation. Junko Nishima was pretending to be someone named Beshiki in order to frame Mukuro and Makoto. It was as though Junko was using Mukuro's survival as a branch path to lead the students to different despair. Monokuma continued talking, telling the students more lies to prod them to action. On the first day of Hospital Academy, you guys were exposed to sleeping gas, knocked unconsciously, and taken hostage. Mukuro and Makoto are probably the only operatives in a terrorist sent inside school. Like, bruh, Makoto and Mukuro also got knocked the fuck out. Or at least Makoto. But that's besides the point. That means they probably know how to escape from here. And then Monokuma turned to face Mukuro. Mukuro Ikisaba was a member of the mercenary crew called Veneer. She's a wanted criminal who killed over 10 people associated with the school. So don't get soft and think you can capture her alive. In fact, that's exactly what the cops told me. So the moment I saw the opening, I tried hacking the trap they set and try to kill her. But what about Makoto? Makoto gave a cold, emotionless answer to Saiga's question. I guess that a measly little ultimate lucky student didn't stand a chance of finding a group like Veneer, or whatever. He's probably threatened and forced to cooperate before he entered school, or judging it from his earlier actions, maybe Mukuro seduced him. Oh my god. Saika's face went pale when she heard that answer, and she immediately stopped talking. Mukuro raised her head and shouted, "You're wrong. Mukuro isn't a terrorist. You're wrong. Makoto isn't a terrorist. You all have to believe me." The whole gym fell silent. And then, as if he was speaking to everyone there, Taka stepped forward and nervously asked, "Hold on. What do you mean Makoto isn't a terrorist?" It sounds like you're saying that there's no doubt that you, in fact, are a terrorist. I ask that you correct yourself once you say we are not terrorists. Celeste began expressing her own doubts as well. Is it is it it is strange. Does it not seem odd that she so protective of someone we all just met a few days ago? Mukuro stood in silence. The other students' faces began to fill with suspicion and doubt as they realized they weren't looking at the real Junko Nishima. Byakuya pushed up his glass and glasses and began coldly pointing out what seems out of place him. I think that's a typo. That's a typo right there. A typo. I think they meant to say pushing up his glasses. But instead, it's spelled glass. I heard that fool Mukuro, or whoever his name is, call you Mukuro instead of Junko. How would Mukuro know that your name is really Mukuro if he just met you not that long ago? That's... I've also heard familiar to Bianca. As I recall, its members have a tattoo somewhere in their body. Instantly, Bianca's words put Mukuro into a calm state of mind. In hostile situations, in offensive reflexes as the ultimate soldier often manifests themselves. Mukuro's tattoo was on the back of her right hand. She wondered how she could hide this from the other students without also calling attention to it. In the end, this concern was in vain. If the police's records are true, she should have a tattoo in the back of her right hand. As Monokuma freely divulged that information. "Alright," cried Taka, his voice filled with enthusiasm. "Show us the back of your right hand and prove your innocence." Monokuma dispensed another unnecessary remark. "Are you sure? You look real close. You might have covered it up with foundation." Junko had ordered Mukuro to hide her tattoo with foundation, so Monokuma's information was entirely true. There was nothing Mukuro could do except stay quiet. However, she wasn't staying quiet because her identity was about to be exposed. She was struck by the realization that her sister was completely serious about pinning this on her. "Why the hesitation?" shouted the foolishly honest Taka. "As my classmate, I have complete faith in you." From behind him, Hifumi Yamada, the ultimate fanfic creator, murmured to himself as cold sweat ran down his cheeks. "Well, look at that. I guess this is what they call a checkmate. Why don't you just fess up already, you fucking bastard?" In contrast to Fumi, Mono Wada, the ultimate biker gang leader, was royally pissed. However, there were some students who were busy questioning Monokuma instead of Mukuro. "Hey, you're not coming to save us," shouted Leon Kawada, the ultimate baseball star. "You should hurry up and charge in here already." Monokuma looked at Leon and shook his head softly. "The police can't help you right now. Not only are you guys hostages, it's possible that the entire school have been rigged with explosives and poisonous gas. I hacked into this Monokuma robot to investigate that for myself. Then, what about everyone on that DVD? What about everyone outside of school?" asked Sayaka. The memory of the DVD she was forced to watch yesterday still weighed heavily on her mind, but Monokuma didn't have a clear answer. "I don't know anything about the DVDs, but there are definitely terrorists causing havoc out there. Law enforcement around the world is in shambles trying to deal with this." Like, how the fuck did Junko manage to do all this? Like, couldn't the police or maybe the fucking military would have stopped this? Like, they should have already stopped her by this point. Hell, the military has fucking tanks that they could have easily killed her with. It just doesn't make sense, bro. That's impossible. Just like how it didn't make sense in Danganronpa 1 and 2, to me. How a single person caused the whole world to go to hell, basically. Sayaka shredded and collapsed to her knees. And I know Mukuro was involved too, but still, huh? Sayaka. Next to her, Chiro Fujisaki, the ultimate programmer, was unsure about what she should do. Behind them, two other girls stood silently. Oh, shit! I forgot that I said that Chihiro. I called Chihiro they/them since it's been highly debated on their gender, basically. I actually want to talk about it in a future video on the debate on Chihiro's gender, basically. The first was Toko Fukawa, the ultimate rhyme prodigy. She seems to be very hard not to look at Mukuro as he lay bleeding. The other was a quiet girl who had talked about herself much, named Kyoko Kirigiri. Like, yeah. Unlike Toko, Kyoko was watching everything intently, as if she was studying the scene of the crime. Well, she is the ultimate detective, to be fair. Even though that hasn't really been revealed until later in the game, you could easily tell that she is the ultimate detective just by the first investigation alone. By the first investigation and the first trial, you begin to notice. I actually begin to notice she's the ultimate detective. That's her talent. Like, it's so fucking easy to tell. Like, bruh. Like, it's not like Byakuya or Imposter, where you couldn't really tell. Or I think I already know because Byakuya isn't big, bruh. He is tall, but he's skinny in Danganronpa 1. In Danganronpa 2, he gotten bigger. Or that the imposter is a huge dude, basically. So, yeah. Even though I didn't fall for the ultimate imposter, a lot of people did. And I think Byakuya's or ultimate imposter's secret talent thankfully was kept hidden until later in the game. As well as Hajime's, and Hajime doesn't even have a talent, in that he was just a reserve course student who would eventually become the ultimate hope for Danganronpa 2. From Makoto's brain patterns to subtle changes in Mukuro's facial expressions, nothing was escaping her attention. Suddenly, Toko began nervously talking to Sakura. So anyway, let's just say that Mukuro woman, or whoever over there, is a terrorist. Hurry up and beat her to death or something. And, oh yeah, I forgot. This was Trigger Happy Havoc Toko. Like, she is awful in... She is awful in Trigger Happy Havoc. And as of now, I'm playing Ultra Despair Girls. And I kind of like her better in Ultra Despair Girls, so... We don't know that yet, said Sakura. My fists do not meet justice based on simple speculation. Like, my main issue with Togo and Trigger Happy Havoc is that she just jumps to conclusions like that. Like, without even knowing the details. That's my main issue. Like, for example, in Chapter 1 of the first game, Sayaka was killed in Makoto's... No, wait, sorry. In Chapter 1, Sayaka and Makoto has swapped rooms for the night. And then the next morning, it turns out that Sayaka was killed in Makoto's bathroom. So, yeah. And people thought that... And Sayaka was actually planning on killing Leon because she saw the video of her fellow members of her idol group. So, yeah. And the characters thought that Sayaka... In the trials, they thought that Sayaka was trying to kill Leon and frame Makoto for it, but it turns out I think Kyoko pointed out that Sayaka was actually trying to save Makoto, and that she wrote Leon via upside down. So yeah, and the investigation really did piss me off, because I already know that it was Leon. I did know that because she was trying to write his name upside down, which, and the characters didn't even understand what it said. Like, this is one thing that did not make sense in the English version of the game. It did. I know. Canonically they're Japanese, but when it comes to the English dub, certain things would just not make sense. Them not understanding English in the English dub just doesn't make sense, bro. It makes more sense in the Japanese dub. So, yeah. It's kind of like how it was in Persona, mainly Persona 5. How certain times where I think Ryuji wasn't able to understand something that was clearly in plain English in the English dub, and then On had to read it for them. So yeah, it did not make sense, bro. And then, back with the Chapter 1 of Trigger Happy Havoc I was talking about. And when Sayaka died, the students initially thought that Makoto was the one that killed Sayaka, just because the murder took place in his room. And Toko was one of those people, in that she believed that Makoto killed Sayaka, even though that he didn't do it. Like, bruh. Sakura tried to get near Makoto to examine his wounds, but Monokuma stood in her way, shouting, "Don't come any closer." This means that Mukuro was the only one who could have get closer. Mukuro. She had ended countless lives on the battlefield. She knew from experience. If she didn't treat Makoto's wounds, he would have died. His wounds would not immediately fatal, but if he continues losing blood, he would eventually slip into shock and die shortly thereafter. Like, bruh, get him to the fucking nursing room, bruh. Immediately, bruh. Please, we need to treat Makoto first. Absolutely not, said Byakuya, harshly interrupted Mukuro. What the fuck, Byakuya? Like, you're not gonna treat Makoto? Like, you just want him to die, bruh? You really are a piece of shit, Byakuya. Tying you up and examining the back of your right hand is our first priority. Like, bruh. Makoto is about to bleed out, bruh. And you just only care about revealing Mukuro's right hand? Hey, Makoto's in danger. Now's not the time for that, said Hina, as she cast a worried glance at Makoto. Yeah, like, facts, like, we had to get Makoto to the nursing room ASAP. She was still having trouble understanding the situation and hadn't decided if Makoto was suspicious or not. Byakuya was about to snap back at her, but Mukuro's action stunned him to silence. She took a deep breath and then Mukuro removed the blonde wig from her head, where there were two long blonde pigtails only a moment before. Now there's a short black hair. She cleared her face of all emotion, and when she spoke, her voice rang throughout the gym. I'm not Junko Enoshima. My name is Mukuro Ikusaba. The students stared wide-eyed at her open confession. All she did was remove her wig and clear her emotions. But in doing so, the students recognized as Junko Enoshima vanished from their sight. The terrorist that had taken her place continued to speak in a calm, stoic tone. I hoped, like everyone inside the academy, the confession of the seaside cliff moment has finally arrived. Hifumi blurted out, What? Wigs? I guess school regulations. Junko, I mean Mukuro. Like, I hate that. I hate the whole school regulations bullshit that these games be having. Or at least these Japanese games be having. Like, I get it's based off of the... I guess... I know it's based off of the Japanese school regulations, but... Still, bruh. Like, their school regulations are awful, I'm be dead honest. Luckily in the US, they're way more loose when it comes to regulations. So, yeah. So you can wear whatever the hell you want in the US at school. As if stirred by their cries of excitement, the other students began clamoring among themselves. Huh? Said Yasuhiro. So Makoto's wounds are, like, real? Does that mean that stuff about terrorists and whatever is all real too? So everything that happened these past few days wasn't a bunch of stage events? Yeah. As the reality of the situation began drawing on Yasuhiro, all Leon could say to him was, shut the hell up. So yeah, guys. And plus, when y'all guys thought that y'all were only in the school for a few days, yeah, that's actually a lie. In reality, y'all guys have been in the school for 2 fucking years, bro. 2 years by this point, but those last 2 years were pretty much erased from y'all memories. Byakuya can remain calm. So basically, y'all 2 years older than what y'all think, and address Mukuros in a condescending manner. What does your group want? If you were after money, would you have already tried to negotiate with me? Of course, I'd rather let them die than surrender to your ransom demands. Our purpose is to fill the world with despair. Byakuya scoffed at this notion and began to speak once again. I see. Monaco said something similar, so that ideology is what fuels your terrorism. It's true. If you did anything to me, you would certainly fill the world with despair. Obviously, that would be impossible. for you. Hina couldn't believe what Byakuya was saying and frowned as she muttered, "How self-centered can you be?" After confirming that Byakuya had no more questions for her, Mukuro looked at Makoto, whose breathing had slowed, and let her voice show some emotion. "But Makoto has nothing to do with this. You can't believe what Monokuma says." "Yeah, Monokuma often lies." "What you said, bitch?" shouted Makoto. "I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're a terrorist, just like Monokuma said. Like, why would you believe in Monokuma, bro?" Mukuro looked away from Mondo and continued speaking. "That's true, but Makoto isn't involved at all." Celeste coldly brushes her objection aside. "I do not think trying to protect him would do you any good. After all, we all heard Makoto call you by your real name." That's... She had no words. She was nothing... There was nothing she could say to protect Makoto. Even though Makoto was truly innocent. Though Mukuro was the ultimate soldier, her powers were largely limited to battle. Even a normal high school student could overweight her when it comes to debate and negotiation. If she were the ultimate negotiator, she might be able to convince them that their memories had really been erased. But in a current situation, if she tried to bring up their memory loss, they would think that it was a desperate excuse. Even Mukuro knew that. But even if she didn't know what to say, she still knew what to do. Right now, we need to treat Makoto first. And then we started walking towards Makoto as if nothing had happened. To the others, it seemed like Mukuro had decided to abruptly change the subject. "Hold it. We will immediately take Makoto to the nurse's office for treatment. However, we must tie you up." This was Sakura's honest demand. But there was no way Mukuro could accept it. If she was separated from Makoto, there'd be no telling what Makoto would do to him. And between Mondo's hot temper and Byakuya's cold heart, Makoto could easily sustain further injuries under the presence of interrogation. Furthermore, among these students, Mukuro knew she was the only one who has experienced treating wounds through her time with Veneer. After mulling that over, she narrowed her eyes and went silent. Her mind was made up. She was determined to fight her way out of here and escape with Makoto. "I apologize, but I need to fall asleep right now." As she said that, Sakura instantly positioned her behind Mukuro. She was completely within a blind spot. To a normal person, it would have seemed like Sakura had suddenly vanished. After moving faster than any human being could use, Sakura's equally fast hands launched a blow toward the back of Mukuro's neck. However, "Sorry, Sakura, but I need to get out of here." Mukuro parried Sakura's fist with a spinning roundhouse kick. "Ah!" Sakura raised her eyebrow at the unexpected counterattack. Mukuro tried to use the momentum of her kick to sweep Sakura's feet out from under her. It sucks that there's no animation for the fight between Sakura and Mukuro. Damn. Yeah, under her. However, Sakura dodged and instinctively struck back against Mukuro's pivot leg. But Mukuro was faster and jumped up, aiming at a tornado kick at Sakura's chin. Sakura deflected the attack with one arm. Then, both combatants leapt backwards and glared and charged simultaneously. Every blow they dealt was parried and countered by the other. And though they were both unarmed, the sound of the battle echoed through the gym. It was like a typhoon that had been compressed to the side of the car and set loose inside the gym. The other students were powerless to stop them. All they could do was stare at the breathtaking dance of death unfolding before them. After 10 minutes had passed, the enormous sound of one final impact rang throughout the gym. Two warriors leapt back once again and breathed heavily as they stared at each other. No mistake. It's only been a few days. I cannot believe I did not notice such an impressive fighter was hiding among us. In addition to surprise, Sakura felt it was as if the battle hard had left her energized. Mukuro, on the other hand, looked down at her arm and confirmed it had been wounded during the battle. As thought to herself, she's strong. I don't think Sakura is even taking this seriously right now. Despite being constantly surrounded by firearms, blades, traps, and explosives during a time of Fenrir, this was the first time she has ever been wounded. Damn, like, Mukuro is a really impressive fighter in my opinion. Like, she shows that she could go toe-to-toe against Sakura. Like, damn, bro. And that she's no person to mess with, bro. Like Mukuro could really fuck you up if she wanted to. Mukuro was powerless before the might of the woman known as the ultimate martial artist and the strongest woman in the world. Just as I thought, I can't beat Sakura with my bare hands alone. If she had been directly ordered to kill Sakura, Mukuro would have opted to either snipe her from a distance or poison her. At this close range, she would need an assault rifle just to stand a fighting chance. I don't have time for this. She looked at Mukuro and confirmed that his breathing has grown even shallower. I need to hurry. But at the moment, she had no one to turn to for help. Suddenly, Mukuro had an idea. It was true that gaining an ally in this situation was impossible. However, she could still turn one person into her enemy's enemy. Mukuro took a deep breath before she charged at Sakura. Then she immediately feinted and charged at the different girl, Toko, who had been cowering in fear from the battle between Sakura and Mukuro, and cornered in the corner of the gym. This is bad. Sakura was caught off guard and tried to run after her, but Mukuro was one step ahead and reached Toko first. Why me? I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Mukuro jabbed Toko in her solar plexus, and she fell into her arms. Taka and Hina yelled out in shock. This is bad. She plans on using Toko as a hostage. Toko, in contrast to their shocked faces, Byakuya just snickered, and coldly remarked, "You fool, do you really think we care if you take someone who just met a few days ago as your hostage?" Mukuro just softly glanced at Byakuya and replied, "You did meet her a few days ago." "What did you say?" "You met her 2 years ago." Byakuya scolded. Mukuro ignored him and held her bloody arm in front of Toko's face. And then she yelled into her ears, "Wake up, genocide Jack!" It seemed so random and out of place. Why would Mukuro mention the name of a notorious serial killer right now? The students looked at each other with confusion, when suddenly Toko had been groaning in pain and suddenly kicked off the floor of the gym with renewed vigor or whatever. She leaped into the air much higher than any normal human should be able to. While hovering several meters in midair, Toko whirled faster than the pro figure skater. This caused her skirt to flutter, revealing multiple pairs of sparkling scissors. Countless tally marks were scattered into her legs, like a kill count carved into a flagjet. If not for the situation, Toko glamorously jumps and spins would have been a sight to behold. The girl, formerly known as Toko Fukawa, cackled wildly, her eyes sparkling as her absurdly long tongue flopped out of her mouth. You call me? So I appeared. I got a murder IOU for YOU. That genocide Jack laughed. Toko, the situation had changed so drastically that even Sayaka, who was silent until now, spoke up. Hey, you flash in the pan. Don't treat Genocide Jack like that depressing little four eyes. That dirty girl doesn't bait herself at all. So I gotta put 5 times the effort to rub myself down in the shower. Togo suddenly changed her personality and sent the students clamoring amongst themselves. I honestly want to know. I'm be dead honest. I honestly know. I want to know why Toko never showers. Like, you're supposed to shower every fucking day, Togo. Like, dead ass. Student clamors. Hey, Leon, yo, what the hell does that mean? Monkun just shook his head. There are some things that I don't even understand. The students continue to panic at a strange turn of events. Toko, now called herself Genocide Jack, took out a set of scissors. A set of scissors from under her skirt, and snipped them with glee as she looked around the gym. Huh? Man, it's been a while since I got to stretch my legs. So, what were you guys going to do here at the gym while I was snoozing away? Have an orgy? Oh, shit. Ayo. And if it's and Genocide Jack, I want to tell you something. If it's an orgy, then count me in. As long as it has girls in it. Huh. I understand. I totally understand. You guys need me to cut up your clothes so you can feel even naughtier. Yeah, right. What the hell would I do that for you, dumbasses? My scissors are only meant for cutting this supple, tender flesh of adorable boys. Genocide Jack was causing a ruckus. But when she saw Mukuro laying on the floor, she tilted her head once again. Big Mac, you're like totally about to die. What's the deal? Did the world fill you with so much despair that you all came here to commit mass suicide? That's so hot. But why are you starting without me? Toko cried Hina. Get a hold of yourself. Genocide Jack ignored Hina and let her emotions run unchecked, jumping and dancing with excitement as she held her scissors. Ah, jeez. I wanted to stab Big Mac's side myself. This spot right here, where the ribs are kind of showing already. He's not even screaming right now, though. What does that mean? Oh well, maybe I can just get used to this feeling of alienation instead. I have no idea what's going on anymore, shouted Yasuhiro. This is all the aliens' fault. Oh my gosh. No. We're not starting with that again, Hero. Hero buried his head into his arms, but no one was paying attention to him. Students' attention was entirely focused on Genocide Jack. Using that to her advantage, Mukuro began sneaking over to Makoto. She's cautiously picked him up, and she confirmed that his body temperature was starting to decrease. I can still make it there on time. Though she was carrying another person, Mukuro stand to soften the sound of her footsteps. She ran to the gym's door. By the time students heard Mukuro open the door, it was already too late. She had managed to escape the gym with Makoto. However, not everyone was unaware of what Mukuro was doing. Makuna saw her movements out of the corner in his eyes, but chose not to tell the students. And the one other person, Kyoko Kirigiri. She saw Mukuro carry Makoto away, but did not inform the others as she watched them leave in silence. As everyone wrestled with their own personal thoughts and speculations, Hoshimi County begins walking a path towards a completely different chaos. So basically, Mukuro used Toko / Genocide Jack as a distraction to everyone, so that she could get Makoto to the nurse's office. Because people still think that Mukuro was a threat to them. And damn. Alright, so yeah. That'll be it for today's episode of Danganronpa If. See you guys next time. VipernationTV signing off.